India has been very fortunate. We are blessed with a very good maritime geography.
Pakistan is now struggling its own homegrown terrorist organizations.
He knows very well that he cannot ignore India's security interests.
The government has approved plans to construct two military airfields in India's Lakshadweep Islands. One is at Minicoy and another is an expansion plan of the existing one at Agatti. This is especially significant as Chinese naval footprint has seen massive expansion in the Indian Ocean region, and this is likely to grow further. Competitive geopolitics in the Indian Ocean brings China and Pakistan much more closer than ever before. And now, Maldivian President Mohamed Muizzu's pro-China policies adds to the Indian woes. It will be the last thing that Pakistan's naval planners would like to see, and that is India seizing the strategic space in Indian Ocean region as a geopolitical arbitrator. No prizes for the best guess. China is the Pakistan's best bet in all to push back, countering the Indian dominance in the littorals. China-Pakistan naval engagements are getting intense by each passing year. This is all about competitive diplomacy in the Indian Ocean region rather than the Chinese or the Pakistani power projection in India's immediate maritime neighborhood. In this game of chess, Maldives seems to have drifted to the other side. The dynamics appear to have changed on India's western seaboard. On March the 4th, the Maldivian Defense Minister Mohamed Muizzu and Deputy Director of the Office for International Military Cooperation of the People's Republic of China, Major General Zhang Baokun, have signed a pact wherein China will offer military assistance to the Republic of Maldives without any charge. Yes, you heard it right. It is for free. They say it is for enhancing the geostrategic bond between the two nations. So understanding it in a broader perspective, it implies that there is going to be a larger bond between China, Pakistan and now the Maldives. Who would be in their crosshairs? You guessed it right, India. Maldivian drift away from India was set up by Muizzu during his political campaign in run-up to recent general elections. His narrative resonated at large and Muizzu won hands down. Soon after assuming office, the first thing the newly elected Maldivian president did was to ask India to pull out its defense personnel involved in operating Indian reconnaissance aircraft and radar stations over there. Prior to this development, India's military presence in Maldives was focused on managing two helicopters and a Dornier maritime surveillance aircraft that were gifted to the island nation to conduct search and rescue operations along with surveillance of its exclusive economic zone.
He knows very well that he cannot ignore India's security interests and the security parameters, and therefore most likely he will try to balance between India and China.
Muizzu realized that he cannot do anything without Maldives cannot do away the cooperation of India, and that's why in a conciliatory message he requested India to waive off or reschedule the payment of interest of more than $480 million.
Now, amid tensions between India and the Maldives, not so surprisingly, the operationalization of naval base in Minicoy that coincided with the defense agreement between the Maldives and the Chinese in March this year, and the latest being the Government of India's approval to its plan to construct two military airfields in Lakshadweep Islands. One is at Minicoy and another is at Agatti, which in actual is an expansion of existing one. This is going to be for dual use by both civilian and the military aircrafts. A major strategic development, part of long-term capability enhancement plan, which officials and experts say will shore up India's security by enhanced maritime awareness through these bases located on these islands. Being very close to critical sea lanes of communication, they are of extreme importance.
The commissioning of INS Jatayu is an asset which we should have, which will help us, spread our which will help us in better maritime domain awareness. It will help us secure our own maritime frontiers, and it will reinforce our position as the premier Indian Ocean power. When the PLA Navy, let's say 7 or 8 to 10 years from now, has the capacity and the capability to operate in the Indian Ocean and will be a formidable presence, we would already have a well-established security architecture to counter that move.
INS Jatayu on the island of Minicoy is approximately 125 kilometers away from Thurakanu Island, which is the northernmost island of Maldives. Let me explain this with the help of our video wall. Now I will explain to you the geostrategic importance of Maldives and also try and explain to you why Maldives drifting to China may not be such a big cause of worry to India. To do that, I will be taking help of this video wall, and I will be giving you the geographical overview of that country first to explain what is the geostrategic importance. Now this country is the smallest country in this area. It is just around 300 square kilometers of land. As far as the geostrategic aspect is concerned, we must understand that this country is longitudinally, that is from north to south, dispersed. As you can see in that box, it is 960 kilometers north to south, and it is straddled on a submarine mountain ridge. So what you can see, these islands basically, when you see the map, the islands are basically the tip of those mountain ranges. Now there are two very major important passes or passages on this island chain of islands. One is the 9-degree channel, which is just south of Minicoy Island and in between Maldives. So it is 9-degree channel, and in the middle of the atoll we have 10-degree channel. So there are two passages through which a lot of trade from Strait of Hormuz and Gulf of Aden, they cross over into the South China Sea and into the region of Japan and China through Strait of Malacca. Here we have, this is Strait of Malacca. So that is why this area is very important. Now once it has gravitating towards China, India is definitely at a disadvantage, but not such a great disadvantage, because Kavaratti, which is here, is not very far away from the Maldives passages that I said, 10-degree and the 9-degree passage. So we can, with our better naval assets, surveillance aircrafts, radar stations, we can keep the complete area under surveillance, and maritime information will not stop by Maldives gravitating towards China. Now let me further explain to you the geopolitical and geostrategic importance of Maldives. Now, as you can see, these are the trade routes that are going. So the complete trade of the globe, this is a major highway. That is, Indian Ocean is a very major highway. And if you understand it from that point of view, if Indian Ocean is a major highway, then Maldives stands as a toll collector. So that is the importance of Maldives. Maldives sits right in the middle of Indian Ocean. Now, as the geopolitical competition is increasing because of increase in trade, a lot of merchant shipping going around, there is obviously jostling. This is jostling between the powers, and India is a very major power. Now, China has got an issue with its geography. It is biased onto the complete extreme far east, and unfortunately, fortunately, they have no other option but to use these trade routes. And to use these trade routes, they do not have that logistical backup and support, and they need it desperately. So in that situation, Maldives come very handy. So for Chinese, Maldives is extremely important in that way. And for us also it is very important, because in the time of conflict, these are the choke points what we can squeeze and put Chinese under a lot of pressure.